All right, man. You know what? I want to tell you something.
What?
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Know what I'm talking about? Halloween candy corn.
Oh my god.
Are you telling me you don't love the most iconic candy of the season?
You know, I don't mind it, but it's not my favorite.
Is it Halloween without candy corn?
Candy corn is nothing without Halloween. That's a better way to put it.
That's so accurate. Like, I'm trying to think of a time of year where, let's say
You would
it's
never-
middle July.
You
and
never eat it.
No.
Yeah, you like corn festival, middle of summer. There's a bowl of candy corn.
Almost
You're
no one
like,
touches it.
Yeah. That's cute. Nobody's gonna eat it.
It is a once a year, few week candy. That's
I
it.
would venture to say, even like you get a bunch of candy corn after trick or treating.
Mm-hmm.
You eat some of it, but like a week later, you're probably throwing it away.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
And you know what? Right? Because as soon as you open it, boom, it goes straight into the fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Ironically, though, on Halloween, if there's a bowl of candy corn, I'm probably gonna eat some.
Exactly. It's more of a it's there. It's a convenience item. I would never intentionally probably spend money on it, but if it's there,
Yeah. Much more of a Kit Kat kind of guy.
Kit Kat's good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything Reese's, not Reese Pieces, but like the Reese Ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Or the Reese Trees. Those are good, but that's Christmas. We're not there yet.
Yep.
I like the Reese Ghosts. Those are good.
Sour Patch Kids.
First they're sour, then they're sweet. Sour Patch Kids are so delicious.
Oh, and their commercials are hilarious.
Absolutely. Like the one chops the girl's braid of hair off.
Oh, dude. I watched the one where like they knock the heel of the girl's heel out. She falls. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And all of a sudden just give him a big hug. That's it. You know how weird is to hug a microphone? It doesn't work.
It doesn't look natural.
It doesn't. It's very unnatural. All right. Okay. Anyway. Halloween. You got the candy corn.
Mm-hmm.
But what's in my mind here, because I've been having some weird dreams recently, is it okay to be afraid? This whole season's about scaring people and being afraid and other stuff. Mm-hmm. Is it okay for dudes to be afraid of things?
Like, it's just scared, or
Yeah, well, let's run through it. So if I say, oh, he's a scaredy cat, or oh, I'm afraid of something, as a guy, I'd kind of judge a guy who's just like, oh, I'm afraid of the dark. Okay?
okay.
But there are fears that are totally legitimate that we're allowed to have.
Okay.
Is that something we ever talk about as dudes?
Well, no. I mean, guys don't talk about anything. I mean, really.
It's so true. But
Okay, so explain.
absolutely. So the fear that I'm kind of thinking of is fear of, like, as a guy, there are things that innately scare me, but they're not.
Spook.
Yeah. It's not Charlie Brown in a sheet. Nothing like that. But occasionally, dudes, and maybe I can just speak for myself, but I think it's pretty wide here.
Okay.
Dudes are afraid of not being good enough.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And what do we do about that? Do we have? I'm trying to think. I've been in conversations with guys my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Have I ever heard one of them say, I just don't think I'm good enough? And yet I know for a fact he's probably felt that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you said it. A lot of guys, they don't really talk about their fears, and because, like you said when you started, guys aren't really allowed to have fears, right? You're not allowed to be afraid of anything because then it makes you seem less manly. So if you bring up something that you're afraid of, then now you're afraid of something, or you have a fear or an anxiety, and that makes you seem less of somehow, or at least that's how they're perceived.
Absolutely.
So I think that probably is a big part of why people don't address that.
Mm-hmm. And by not addressing it, we don't get the opportunity to get better and get through it.
Yeah, well,
Not without the help. not without help. Like,
Yeah.
we were to ask our dads this question, they may give an initial different answer. Or maybe our grandfathers might be a better example. Where, fear, they didn't have an opportunity to be afraid in the same way. They're like, look, we have to get up. We have to go handle this. If I don't succeed, my family doesn't eat. That's not a fear for us.
Yeah.
There's so much abundance, so much of that. We don't have to worry about our family not eating. That's all going to be handled for us. But fear of not being good enough. So I want to explore that a little bit. Who are we trying to be good enough for?
Well, the eye of society, maybe?
I can see that being a thing.
Because I think a lot of men probably they're afraid of not being good enough to what other people expect them to be. And what do other people expect them to be? Criteria that society has deemed that they should meet. So maybe it's a thought that men are afraid of not living up to what society expects them to be.
Now, so let's run with that. What does society expect from the average man walking down the street? What does society expect from us? Because I think I'd like to go a little more individualized with it, but let's hit the society situation here real quick. What does society say we have to measure up to?
Well, I think a big part of being, the measure up of a man is what you can do, right? Because a lot of times men are judged based on their capability to accomplish something.
What can they provide?
Exactly. What can they provide? Whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, whether that's in terms of, economic provision, mental stability, emotional relationship provision, it's a lot of times a matrix of what you can provide to someone. That's how men are judged against, if you will.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. There's some really good aspects in there.
Yeah, it can be a driving force, especially the fear of not meeting those things. That can be a good driving force.
Yeah, you're allowed to have some healthy. Dude,
what did you do?
I bumped. We're going to run with that. I'm not even cutting it. That's real. I was afraid that was going to happen.
Oh my god.
And it did. So I would consider that the fear to not be seen good by your peers. I'd say that's a healthy fear.
Yeah, everybody wants to impress somebody. And if, the fear of not impressing people or people thinking highly of you is, I think, across the board for everybody. Everybody struggles with that.
And the fear of not being able to provide. I think that's one that, regardless of your age, that's one men at some level usually have to deal with.
Oh,
Am
yeah.
I going to be able to provide? Usually it's for your wife, girlfriend, family, all of that. But even at some levels for yourself. But there's a handful of things your woman can say to you that will crush you. And one of them is you're not enough.
Oh, yeah.
That is a fear that will level a man. And it drives you a couple different ways. One, you got to find the right woman, 100%. But if you think, what if I'm slacking a little bit? That can either push you to be better, or some people, it just crushes them. They're done. There's no coming back from it. And we can't let that fear crush us to the level of not stepping back up to the plate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that can happen a lot. I would assume. You can see it in society where people are, really, really detrimentally struggling with a fear or an anxiety or a struggle with something, and they let it hold them back from being or doing what they could do or should do because they're so afraid of not being what they should be.
I know I've heard it said when you're afraid, you have 3 responses. Most of us would either say fight or flight. Well, there's a third one, freeze.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the deer in headlights who just, playing dead the possum. That's the do nothing. But we have to. That's the heartbreaking one. Mm-hmm. When someone who is too afraid to take the next step, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm in a customer-facing job. I don't like doing phone calls all the time. Let's just say that. Am I afraid of the phone? No.
Is it going to jump out and bite you?
Right. What is the guy on the other end going to say? Never call me again. Okay, thank you. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Almost all of it is about 1 second of hello. That's it. It's not like once I hit dial, I'm not going to stop talking to him. He's going to pick up the phone. Right? It is. It's silly, but at some level there, I'm, of course, afraid to dial the phone because I don't want to get rejected. It's a fear of rejection. It's what it is. I'm not afraid of the physical dialing of the phone. I'm not afraid of the person on the other end, but at the end of the day, I want to be liked.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people don't do their job, whether it's a job you're actually being paid to do. Sorry, boss, I'm working on it. Or, a lot of us have things we know we were built for.
Mm-hmm. Not living up to your potential because you're afraid of something.
Mm-hmm. And whether it's because you don't believe you have a fallback or you don't believe you'll be able to provide for your family, or just a straight up fear of failure.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do when you have a fear or an anxiety or a situation where that's holding you back? What do you do with that? How do you address those crippling fears?
I think there's a couple different items that I've come across that either have worked for me or tend to be helpful here. If it's anxiety, so let's section that one off separately. Let's say physical anxiety, you got sweats, you're starting to fade out a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Couple breaths in, long breath out. It's just a calming item. Just a real simple item there. It physically calms you down.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it at work with clients who just get a little overwhelmed in some of the stuff we talk about. Okay. It's a simple one, but it works for anyone. It's just physiological, a couple breaths. Basically, it just refocuses you and slows the body down. Helpful tool.
So what do you do with those crippling mental fears of something?
I try to break it down to what is the actual item I'm afraid of. It's like the phone one. It is going to be the silliest example, but it's a really easy one to come back to. Why am I having this fear? I'm just afraid this guy's going to reject me. And what if he does? Big deal. I have a couple hundred other people to call. One doesn't make or break me. Just getting another no, that's okay. Mm-hmm. He's not going to do anything that's going to kill me, and my family's okay, no matter how that call goes.
Okay.
So just take the next smallest step.
So what do you do in the situation where someone's afraid of losing the only person they love, right? What do you, your spouse, your girlfriend, your fiance, whatever, what do? You're afraid you're not meeting expectations, or maybe you're afraid that if you make the next step, something will go wrong, or it's just something along those lines where you're afraid of losing that unreplaceable person. How do you address that?
In that one, I think communication with that person is beyond important.
Okay.
It's because a lot of times we have expectations of ourselves that we set on ourselves that they didn't tell us that we had to do. And maybe that's the case. Maybe it's like, well, if I don't do X, 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 and Y, she's going to leave me. Well, really, she only asked for 2 of those. The other 7, that was me.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that open communication and the, hey, I can do this, I can't do this, really, really helps. And then that may actually just lead to the fact of, oh, I am good enough because we talked about it, and this is what I am capable of, or I'm going to be capable of. Maybe not today, but maybe they believe in me to help get me there. Or maybe this wasn't the right fit.
Okay. What do you do in the situations where you have someone who's afraid of something like physically real, right? Like, say you're afraid of, someone you love passing away, right? Like they get in a car accident or have a health issue or something like that. Like you're afraid of something very real happening. Mm-hmm. It's a physically real situation, or you're afraid of dying in a fire, or you're afraid of a certain animal or whatever. What do you do about those like very physically real fears?
I'm going to give the quick answer, and then I say we run it through.
Okay.
You give it to God.
Okay.
If you can't, if it's not inside of my power to touch and control, then it's too big for me. And
that's a good answer. I like that.
I don't have time to worry about things that I can't really influence. I personally do not have very much influence, if really any, about a nuclear bomb being shot at us from somewhere in the Middle East. Probably can't. I probably
not
can't.
Much you're doing about that. Yeah,
that's not really my area. So I have to rely on other people in society and governments to handle that, and I hope that I can do good with there. But the health item there, someone breaking into my home when I'm not there.
Yeah.
The getting into a car wreck. Well, I can be somewhat alert, but it's not in my hands all the time.
Right.
What is the serenity prayer? Lord, give me the strength to. I can't even remember it, but yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I don't have it memorized, but yeah.
Yeah, so in those ones here, I really try to focus on what's inside my power, because the list of what's in my purview is something I can work with. The list of what's not in my purview is significantly bigger. And if I spent all my time worrying about what might happen sometime in the future or all these other things, I'll never actually get to my life and taking care of the things that are right here. And maybe your domain of item that you can handle is really, really small. That's okay. Just fortify the things you can work on. Well, I'm worried about my health. Okay. What is one thing you can do today to help fortify that health a little bit more? Maybe don't eat as much candy corn. Probably a good rule for most of us. But you just start with you. And if all you can handle is you, fine, work on you. Maybe you've got a little bit further, then you can get you and your family. Wonderful. And how about you and your family and one friend? And just slowly work it out.
Yeah.
Because if it's beyond your reach, it's beyond your reach for a reason. That's not your purview to deal with.
Yeah. Don't spend your time and energy worrying about things that you can't control.
And occasionally you got to realize you're not good enough, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a progress. It's a journey. It's a continuous improvement on oneself. Maybe a better way to put it.
The guy who, so if we have 2 guys, so let's use a kid and his dad as this example here. And the kid says, "Dad, there's a monster in my closet." Do we consider the dad to be a brave, heroic, amazing gentleman because he walked into the closet and saw there was nothing there?
Yeah, maybe. To the kid, yeah.
To the kid, he's a hero because in the kid's mind, there's a monster in that closet.
Mm-hmm.
And dad is conquering the monster. Now, in the dad's mind, there's no monster in the closet. I'm just going to go to the closet. The dad is not being brave in that moment because he has no fear. The kid who says, I am afraid there's a monster in my closet and I'm going to get him because this is my house. This is my room. He's not getting my toys. That kid's brave. We honor the kid in that one moment there of his bravery. The dad's not being brave there. The dad's doing his job.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're not afraid, if you don't have a fear, you're not really being brave. You are just doing what you're supposed to do, really, at that point. And one thing I've heard said, and I really like, is if your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. So, for instance, it's if I say, look, I dream to do 10 push-ups. I can do 10 push-ups. That's not impressive for me. If I put a goal out there that would require me to bring in other people to help me, that I might fail at, because then I got to bring in some other people, and it might even be such a big goal that even people can't do it. I might need to pray. I might need some help from the divine on this. Now we're getting to the area where it's worth the fight. It's worth failing occasionally on the way forward, and being okay with that failure, knowing that fear of that failure is a driving force forward.
So let your fear motivate you, but don't let your fear cripple you. Some good stuff there. I think a lot of people deal with fears that they don't ever talk about, or stuff that they're afraid of that nobody ever knows about, or maybe their closest friends know about, and they let that eat at them for years and years, and then eventually maybe they get it resolved or maybe they don't. But I think a lot of people maybe miss out on a lot in their life because they let that fear have control that it shouldn't have, And I think maybe the key point here is to having the fear is okay, but learning how to control it enough to let it motivate you and not cripple you is the key there, which is obviously much easier said than done.
Yes.
But, having a motivating fear, or having the fear and letting it motivate you, I think is the key there, not letting it be so harmful that it cripples you. And the key to not doing that is to getting help.
And that can be just text a buddy.
Yep.
Call a friend. Get a professional involved if you have to.
Yep.
Just ask for it, because you don't have to do this alone. There's a lot of things we have to do on our own. Totally fine. Well, there's a lot of things we can ask for help on. And that's okay. And it can be something if I walked up to 10 people right now and said, hey, I want you to show me your resume. They're going to say it's too complex. They're not talking all about. They're afraid that they can't produce something that represents them properly.
Yeah.
And then on paper, they're going to look like absolute trash. They're actually afraid of that now.
Right.
Necessary? No. They just need coached on how to write and how to talk on that.
Yeah, I think everybody's got something they're afraid of. I think it's just how well you are at handling it and dealing with it and using it.
At the end of the day, I think one of the biggest fear, there's 1,000,001 ways to go on this. Public speaking, dying alone, being eaten by animals, buried alive.
Yep.
A lot of those you can't control.
Nope.
At all.
And if it's out of your control, then worrying about it's not going to help.
Right. I don't have that kind of time in the day.
Yeah.
And when you truly have goals and things you're working toward, maybe some good people around you, some good things you're doing, you truly don't have time to spend a couple hours a day sitting in a corner pondering about how everything's going to go wrong entirely over something you can't control. You don't have that kind of time. You got stuff to do.
Yeah.
You have some good work to do. And as guys, there is some kind of link here between actually taking forward steps and doing good work and no longer being afraid or showing the fear.
Yeah. Well, and another one I think that's really important is that if you have people in your life who you're noticing are exhibiting a crippling fear of something, or they're afraid of not progressing, or they're letting some situation like that affect their life, right? Reach out and help, right? Or offer some
yes.
help, right? Because, if you've got somebody who's, trying to reach this goal or accomplish this thing, right? But they're afraid of this or they're afraid of that, so they're not making any progress, or they're not even taking the first step, right? If you notice that somebody's struggling with something like that, reach out to them, be some support, be some help, at least be an ear to listen, right? Because that, I think, a lot more than maybe professional help is where people make the most progress. So if you have someone like that in your life, I would encourage you to be that support for them.
Because it takes bravery also for them to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're...
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot.
If I say, hey, dude, I'm afraid of something. Like if I open up,
yeah,
and I expose myself a little bit here emotionally to a buddy of mine, or someone who I think is a buddy, and all of a sudden they say, "Bro, you're a coward. Stop being a baby." Whack.
Yeah. Or even worse, they use it later.
Ooh,
that's
yes.
the hard thing, and that in itself can be a fear.
Yes.
Of not opening up to someone because you're afraid they'll use it later.
Oh, betrayal is huge here.
Yeah. The fear of betrayal is a big one. And again, the way to handle that is, well, what can I control and what can I control? I can't control what they do, but I can control who my friends are. And, how I trust them, right? So, but yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, the betrayal that can wreck people for literal lifetimes if the wrong person betrays them.
Yep.
So really, when someone's opening up to you, they are very delicately handing you something to ruin them, and it's our responsibility to be kind, that be loving, show them,
understand the weight of what's happening and the information that you have, and don't just discard that importance. At least I think, But yeah,
give it the respect it deserves. They're trying to be a better version of themselves, and they're trying not to be scared.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're opening up.
And they clearly trust you, at least in some way.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm struggling with this. I need help. Here, I'm offering my hand, and if you just smack the hand away or put something, do something bad, that crushes them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a real fear, and it takes bravery to overcome that. It doesn't matter if there's not a monster in the closet, or doing the phone call, doing a sales call. It doesn't matter. Just take one small step of something you can control, and sometimes play out the best and worst case scenario.
Yep. Everybody's afraid of something.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.